State machines use states and transitions to create behaviors at certain times or events. At a really basic level, Unity's state machine is using animations as states and transitions triggered by conditions that utilize variables or animation's duration. Okay, so these are my animations. If you don't know how to make these, I have a video on that, so check it out if you don't. But fast forward, you need to click right click and go to create, and then animator controller, and name it something, and then this thingy is our state machine, and right now it's empty, and you can add your animations here. The yellow one means it plays by default. When I press play, this animation will play. If I add the other one, I can set this as the layer default state, and the default state it switches to this one. This is just the animation it plays when we press when we enter the play mode, so it's not a big deal. By the way, if this is your character with, I don't know, animator, and it's right here it says missing, it will not work when you press play, so just select your animation controller and plug it right here, and now when we press play it should enter the animator state right here, idling, and it's just repeating constantly. I can manipulate the speed here and it will move a bit slower or faster. Anyway, now to transitions. By the way, you can stop the looping by pressing this button for every animation. Now, okay, so right click and you can make a transition to move. Okay, now press on this plus button and you can make a variable like int, and I can name it no, let's make a boolean for whatever reason, moving. Okay, so these parameters, all of these parameters can be manipulated through code, but if you don't know coding, that's fine. We can just enter the play mode and test them right there. So yeah, name it properly, please. Don't torture the programmers. So these transitions has an exit time. That means if the idle animation is done, you can trigger the animation, these transitions, and go to this state machine, which is move. But it's it's not really a good transition for any moving stuff. Like if this character would move, the programmer would need this transition to move with it. So we can add a condition right here, and our parameter, we can select it. It's already selected, but if you have more parameters like this, you can select them and choose the appropriate conditions for them. I'll just delete this one. So moving, if it's set to true, then this animation will play, but if you have the exit time, the idle animation, it needs to be finished and then it will be triggered while this condition is true, which I don't really like. I like my animation to be like instantly, no exit time. So when it changes to true, it will just jump from idle to move nearly instantly. You can set your durations and stuff from here. So we can press play. Let me just dog this animator here, and we can see our animation play, and then we can set our moving boolean to true, and now it's set to move, and we can make a lot of stuff with it. Like we can add as many as layers, I don't know, states we want, and transitions like I don't know, I can add an idle layer with a different speed right here, and we can just play with it. Now if we're idling and moving is true, the transition will move to move, and then if it's set to, I don't know, false, it will go to this idle animation, which is a bit slower than this one. But if you don't set any conditions and set the exit time to true, it will just go here. Let me just delete this transition. So we can make state machines as complicated as we want it to be. We can just set the moving, and now it's here. And if we disable it, it should enter this transition and then this one. Okay, so yeah, we can make other parameters like float or int or trigger. Yes, let's add a transition from move to idle and delete this one, and it should be a condition with deselect has exit time, and we can add new float, which is this one, and set it if it's greater than 0, then transition to idle, like this. So it's idling, we can press moving, and then we're here, and new float greater than 1, it's this, and now it's transitioning like crazy. Okay, so yeah, that's animation's basic state machine thingy. I don't know.